Today's story is about Joan Harrison. On November 20, 1975, the assortment of 26-year-old Joan Harrison was found in an unwanted carport in the city of Preston in the northwest of England. Harrison had been assaulted and pounded into the ground in what specialists portrayed as a long and difficult passing. From the start, there was practically nothing to make this a high-profile case. The casualty was a known whore and medication client. Albeit scarcely any individuals accept that those are motivations to kill somebody, the homicide of a whore will customarily inspire definitely less compassion from the overall population than the homicide of somebody thought about really honest. But nearly all along, something appeared to be bizarre about Joan Harrison's homicide. Detectives verified that Joan was assaulted and killed in the carport. It was anything but a dump site. Joan was most recently seen the prior night around 10:30 as she strolled to a neighborhood bar for certain beverages. Examiners accept that she was gone after in the city and afterward maneuvered into the carport where the assault proceeded. The more specialists looked through the scene, they understood that this was not a common homicide. The police promptly saw that Joan had been nibbled, and they later discovered that she was feeling the loss of some gems from her past two relationships. When the specialists remained back, they saw that the scene looked organized, as though the wrongdoing was carried out in a ceremonial way of some sort or another. Other than the nibble, the post-mortem showed that her aggressor was an uncommon B blood classification secretor. Regardless of Joan's experience, the police were persevering in their examination and talked with scores of men who fit the profile of a potential suspect. Yet, no reasonable suspects were found, and the case immediately went cold until it took its most memorable unusual wind. In 1978, the Joan Harrison murder examination got new life when the police of West Yorkshire started getting tips that she was one of the Yorkshire Ripper's casualties. The Yorkshire Ripper, who was subsequently shown to take care of business named Peter Sutcliffe, killed 13 ladies all through northern England somewhere in the range of 1975 and 1980. The majority of the Ripper's casualties were whores or ladies strolling the roads alone around evening time, as Joan Harrison. Joan's homicide fit the Yorkshire Ripper's strategy for activity in numerous ways. In 1978, the Ripper was at the level of his killings. The Ripper killings in the end constrained the West Yorkshire Police to shape a Ripper task force which directed a large number of meetings and pursued down as many leads. On March 8, 1978, the team got a letter from somebody professing to be the Yorkshire Ripper. "I am the Ripper. I have been named a lunatic by the press, however not by you. You call me shrewd and I am." Forensic experts took an example of a few spit on the letter and discovered that whoever composed the letter, as Joan Harrison's executioner, was an uncommon B secretor. Humble was condemned to 8 years in jail for the corruption of equity in the Yorkshire Ripper case. Yet, the police in Preston were no nearer to addressing Joan Harrison's homicide. In 1975, Christopher Smith was in his late 20s and, like Joan Harrison, had to a great extent escaped everyone's notice of society. By the 1980s, Smith had gained notoriety for himself in the city of Preston. Experiencing terminal ailment that was somewhat welcomed on by his hard carrying on with right off the bat throughout everyday life, Smith turned around to the container and was captured for driving affected by liquor in 2008. Since Smith got it together before the United Kingdom's criminal DNA information base became real, he was not undocumented and thusly avoided equity for north of 30 years. I cannot happen with the culpability. I have lived with it for north of 20 years. I am genuinely upset for all the aggravation I have caused to anybody. If it's not too much trouble, accept me when I say I am grieved. Satisfy God, assist my family who I with adoring. I have been in the clear for north of 20 years, so satisfy God, help me. I love you all for eternity. That's all for this time, hope to see you next time.